So did this ever happen to you where you start talking to a client, you chat with them, maybe go back and forth of what they want, for kind of a few days. They usually ask you a lot of questions. Then you might show them, proof of your results, testimonials, send them some other stuff. Then some of them, you might even book a call, get on a chat with them. They ask questions, you explain everything. Then you might even do kind of a small test or something, just a bit extra for the client, some extra investigation, something like that, just prove to them that you can, you know what you're doing and you want to work with them. And then after all of that, they just disappear. It's probably one of the most frustrating things where you invest so much time kind of talking to a client. The client asks just a million questions. To be honest, the more questions the client asks, usually those are the ones that are the most difficult to work with. They are the cheapest ones. It's very difficult, to get paid from those clients. It's very difficult to work with them. It's just at least my personal experience. But this is probably the usual process for a majority of freelancers, or at least every single freelancer has definitely experienced this, where it's just very frustrating to invest so much time and effort, and then the client just kind of disappears and nothing. But I did find a solution for this particular problem. So in my case, I found that getting high value, high paying long-term clients is the ultimate goal for any freelancer, where you can avoid any of these other clients that just take up your time and just waste your time, and you don't get any contracts from them. That's $1 million question. How do you actually get, those clients? But the thing is that you'll need to reframe the way you think about yourself and the way you freelance if you want to attract these types of clients. So let me give you sort of an example of how to best find these. First, and the most important thing is, if a client comes to you first instead of you coming to them, usually it's a very good sign that might be a very good client, especially if it comes through networking, referrals, or some different sort of communities. These are probably the best clients that I ever worked with whenever they come from one of these three areas. If a client comes from, for example, your freelancing profile on Upwork or Fiverr, that doesn't really count, and there might be sort of a hit or a miss with these platforms. But if it comes directly to you through your LinkedIn, social media, website, networking, referrals, communities, then it's a whole different game. And then probably the natural question for you is how to make people come to you. And this is where I want to showcase you something here. So first of all, what you need to do is niche down and specialize in something very, very specific. So why is that the case? First of all, I just have some notes here just in case you're wondering why I'm looking to the right. But basically, a couple of things that I wrote here is that the more specific your area of expertise is, the better, because you are attracting the exact clients that you want. I usually like to, take example of just graphic designers. If you're a graphics designer, period, then, well, you can work with anyone from startups to offers to e-commerce websites to like Google or Apple. You're just a graphic designer. But what you need to do is you need to tailor your messaging and your portfolio and speak to a very specific type of customer. So now if we change that, instead of doing you're a graphic designer, you are a graphic designer for e-commerce websites, or even better, you're a graphic designer for health-related e-commerce websites or food-related e-commerce websites, and your portfolio and your messaging is all about how you can help those specific people. That's the first step. That is probably the most important one. Again, if you also attract these types of people, your portfolio, your results, your case studies really resonate with these clients. And talking about the ones, networking, referrals, communities, you are more likely to actually get referred. You're more likely to talk to people similar to that. It's way, way easier if you specialize in a specific area. Then If we go to our second point, that is building a strong personal brand. Sorry for my writing here. But a strong personal brand is very key to attracting these high value clients. You need to develop sort of a professional online presence, establish your portfolio, your website, your social media, and I even suggest you sort of market yourself as an agency website or thing. So it doesn't have to be full agency where you just, it seems like there are like 20 people working there, but tailoring your messages more towards as would an agency do is way better than just having your own personal website, just you as a freelancer. I found that people kind of value a bit more if you're not just one person working there. And then it's very simple. Share insights, success stories. You need to demonstrate your expertise. You can start posting on LinkedIn. You can start interacting with other communities where your clients gather and just kind of sharing all that you know. And again, you must leverage your testimonials, your client success stories. That does build trust. One important thing to do with your personal brand is to get into content marketing and, blog posts, webinars, whatever you can share and bring online, you do that. If you have a YouTube channel that nobody watches, but you sort of prepare a lot of case studies and just stuff like that would be useful to sharing whenever you reach out to someone, or if somebody asks sort of for your examples of work or anything like that, the more you have online, the better. And I found that myself, the more I actually put things online, the more people just find me through some very weird ways, but they find me through all of these things and reach out, and it gives them confidence that I know what I'm doing. Because if we compare to a freelancer that doesn't really have anything online, maybe their freelancing profile and maybe a very simple website, it's very difficult for me to know if I want to work with that person if I don't see anything else. Next on our list is networking. So this is, so there are a couple of ways. So one is to, of course, attend industry events, conferences, local meetups. That's what happens sort of in your local area where you are. But probably the most useful ones these days is engaging in online communities. So these can be LinkedIn groups, forums, Slack communities, and courses. So I do find that whenever there is courses or paid communities, usually a lot of high value clients can hang out there. And I actually found quite a few clients by just signing up of non-related courses and communities where people hang out. And I did find a lot of clients in those communities just because I interacted and just people saw me, they are sort of being active. So it's a very unique way of sort of engaging in this. But again, if you are in a community of people and you know that a certain type of person likes to hang out there, then it's probably the best possible place for you to be there. Again, if it's a paid community, there's probably way less people there. If it's a very expensive community, that means people do have income, which again is a very good sign if you want to work with high value clients in this area. And whenever you're doing any networking or communities, the main thing is to build relationship with these people. So don't try to sell to your services in the first message or the first time you meet them. Just talk to people, get interested in their business, in their work, in them generally, and you'll see that people just naturally will remember you and then will know what you do, and eventually just will send you a message whenever they need your services. So it's as simple as that. Okay, and next one. So the fourth on our list is referrals. If you watched my channel for at least even a little bit, you probably know that I really preach referrals as one of the best ways of getting clients. It does require some upfront work, quite a lot. But if you already worked with at least several clients, just asking your current past clients for referrals, especially if you had successful sort of projects and relationships with them, can already provide you with some great results. But you can also establish some partnerships. for example, with somebody who provides a complimentary service to your clients and can introduce you to them. That can be agencies, consultants. Again, if we take a graphic designer as an example, if you sort of partner with some marketing agencies or somebody that provides freelancers that provide only marketing services, or just developers, for example, that work with your clients, just if you partner with these people or just are in the vicinity of these people or just build relationship with these people, again, they can since they're not able to complete your service, since the developers don't do graphic design and marketing people also don't do that, they will probably instantly refer those clients to you because you already have a working relationship or strategic partnership, or just you get to know them sort of really well and you start even probably maybe collaborating on some clients. So this is just another way to go after these high value people. Now, it's very important. So the fifth thing is positioning and pricing. The higher you set your prices, the more premium it feels. It's just a natural way for us. If somebody says that, hey, I can do it, just let's take a simple example. There's a graphic designer and he says, hey, I can do a logo for you for $5. And then there is a graphic designer that says, hey, I can do a logo for you for $1,000. Just based on these two sentences alone, without knowing nothing else, we instantly feel that $1,000 graphic designer, that package, that thing, is way better and worth way more and is way better product than a $5 one. But it's just a price difference. So a price difference is really, really crucial here. If you want to attract high value clients, you actually, which is a good thing for you, but you actually need to increase your prices probably, or what you charge. This is a very good thing for you. You know, it's the same work for you, but you can charge more. But this is definitely something, because if you go to these high value people and offer your services for just $50 or $100, they will probably won't care that much. It's a very interesting psychological thing, but the pricing in that aspect is very important. But also, you also need to clearly talk about return on investment. These people really care about what they spend and what value they are getting. So return on investment, it depends again on your service. If you're doing ads, you can probably calculate the return on investment really accurately. So that's good for you. But then if you are a graphic designer and you're a logo or a rebrand of a person's website, well, that's a bit different. You know, in that case, the value really sort of depends on what that particular person values that specific thing. Either way, you always need to look for an angle of how can you position whatever your service is and what is the return on the investment that the person is getting. That doesn't necessarily have to be a direct return where they spend $1,000 on a logo and that logo somehow brings them like $2,000 in clients. That's not necessarily the case. There are also other different things that people can care and value for. For example, an e-commerce website that wants to build a very strong brand and is sort of going sort of after that, where people just talk and, you know, get word of mouth regarding the brand, and that brand is visible everywhere. They probably care a lot about their image. So their return on investment is just a very clear logo that is very easy for other people to see and understand and instantly recognize. And then the last thing, which is sixth one, is results. You do need to showcase people results, either via portfolio, videos, PDFs, create case studies, write blog posts, video testimonials, even client interviews. Just there are so many different ways of highlighting your success to others, which apparently not really many freelancers do, which is very a shame, because usually it's either just one screenshot or just a very poorly designed PDF or something like that. There are so many ways of showcasing that what you do makes it brings a lot of value to the specific clients. Just do whatever you can to use data metrics to just showcase people how you do. And also video, don't forget video. Just doing a simple screen recording and just showcasing the previous results, talking to the camera, just showcasing yourself on a camera, just using Loom or whatever else software that you want. That's probably the easiest way these days to just showcase who you are, how you look like, how you talk, and what are the results that you can provide us. So don't be afraid of doing videos. That's not many people have videos on their personal websites, just like talking to the camera. So definitely practice if this is not a skill that you mastered yet. I think it's super important for especially the high value clients to just see and hear you first before they even book a call with you. But for now, do check out my newsletter linked below, where I just share my 10-year experience and knowledge in freelancing and all the different strategies that I use throughout the years. I basically share all the latest things on that newsletter. But for now, I think YouTube wants you to watch this video, so check it out.